it's safe to say that all of you have an Instagram account, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Social media has grown in popularity over the last few years. The graph on the screen comes from Pew Research Center, and it shows the relationship between age and social media usage. Since 2006, each group has grown in their usage of social media. 88% of all 29-year-olds use social media. This number reflects data that was taken from social media users in 2018, so you can believe that this number has grown drastically since then. It's more rare to find someone who doesn't have a type of social media than to find someone who does. The capacity that social media has now is amazing. You can connect with people across the United States and even people in different countries. You can even find people by simply searching their name in the search bar. It's common for apps such as Instagram and Facebook to use information such as your followers to connect you to people you might know and other information to make your experiences best fit you. A new trend on Twitter recently pokes fun at the FBI agent that watches you through the front camera of your phone. Some users have made comments about how they were talking about a certain product or business and an ad for that thing was on their screen the next time they opened the app. Twitter's not the only social media app that this appears to happen to. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok seem to have ads appear that directly correlate to something that was said or even thought about. There's no doubt that this is extremely weird, but this type of advertisement has become common among companies in recent months. There are generally two types of ways that companies get your information. This can be through your social media, which I mainly want to focus on today, but I'll also give you an example of a company that's not social media that profits off the sharing of your personal information. Companies will take your information from social media accounts and collect that data to market their product in a way specific to what you like and what you're interested in. They collect data through the number of likes, shares you have on a specific post related to that product, and how many followers you have. On Instagram specifically, they use hashtags to collect data and about users and learn more information about your engagement on certain posts. Social media companies have been accused of selling personal information regarding users such as age, gender, hometown, languages you speak, and social connections. That leads us to the question, is it ethical for companies to sell your personal information to other companies as profit? I hope that by the end of my speech you understand the invasion of privacy that's being practiced by social media apps and outside businesses in regards to your social media accounts and personal information. I want to bring your attention the different ways companies such as Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook take and sell your personal information to companies and why it should be illegal. In 2018, it became obvious that the practice of selling your personal information from your social media accounts was going to become a common practice. Emails from senior executives from Facebook, including Mark Zuckerberg, who is the co-founder and chief executive of Facebook, his emails included the idea that he wanted to start charging businesses a small fee to obtain personal information from users' accounts. Facebook specifically wanted to sell your information to outside businesses. This deal never ended up going through, but they had full intention if these emails had not gotten out to the public. These emails proposed the idea that they would charge companies 10 cents per user per year. So this comes out to over $20 billion a year because of Facebook's 2 billion users. Facebook would be profiting more than $20 billion a year from users that have no idea that their information is being sold. This number is the average for only one company. According to CNN Business, companies such as Levi's, North Face, Starbucks, and Walmart are some of the largest spenders on Facebook advertisement. These are also examples of companies that use your information and have bought it from Facebook in the past. Facebook's not the only company that's been caught selling consumer user data to outside businesses. Outside of social media accounts, companies such as Verizon and Walgreens have sold personal data about their customers. According to Forbes, Walgreens is a good comparison to Facebook when it comes to selling consumer data. Khalid Lideru, he's a writer and editor for Forbes, wrote, "Pharmaceutical companies can pay Walgreens to send an advertisement for a drug trial to all its customers that suffer from a particular medical condition. This means that pharmaceutical companies such as Walgreens sell data based on what medications they're selling, and what medical conditions are represented in their demographic. When you get random cards in the mail regarding medications related to your medical conditions, those come from companies like Walgreens selling your information. Leader goes to talk about HIPAA, which is a law that protects your privacy in a medical context. To give you a little more background, HIPAA is the law that protects minors in doctor's offices. So when you turn 16, the doctor asks you whether or not you want your parent in the room, and that is because of HIPAA. He writes that pharmaceutical companies can find ways around HIPAA laws and still make money off of your medical rights and information. It should be illegal for companies to be able to obtain this information. Going back to social media, there's a lack of federal legislation that protects your rights on social media, which makes sense regarding how young social media is and how long it takes to pass legislation, but it's no excuse for states to not enact their own laws. In most states, the most they've done is enact laws that require persons or businesses to require the consumer of any data breaches that may affect them, which is not enough. I believe that the threshold for what is considered a data breach should be lowered to ensure that your privacy is not being threatened. These breaches are happening every day, but people have no idea what's happening. This would mean that if companies such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and even companies that are not social media would have to notify you of any of your private information being insecure. The idea that your private information that's being obtained through your social media accounts is being sold for a profit is still a new idea to people. If there's no change, big business will continuously be making money off of your personal information. According to Louis Masaki, an editor and writer for Wired, he writes that the future of personal data collection is going to be a hard thing to navigate. We have to ask ourselves, do we want big corporations tracking our Instagram posts? Should colleges be able to pay for information about their students? And should medical records not be fully confidential? Laws need to be put in place to force businesses to move away from the targeted advertising business model altogether. A smaller first step would be to bring awareness to people, but the different ways that their information is being sold, traded, and shared. Until customers actually understand what's happening to their information, there will be no change.